Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea from Islamic thought. It's all about how the concept of God's absolute oneness, what's known as Tawhid, actually creates a unified theory of knowledge. I mean, think about it. A framework that's designed to bring faith and reason, the spiritual and the secular, all together into one cohesive whole. It's a fascinating topic, so let's get right into it.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. First, we'll cover the foundation, what Tawhid is all about. Then, we'll see how that leads to a unified theory of knowledge. After that, we'll look at how revelation and reason can work together in harmony. Next up, we'll explore the purpose and ethics that come with this kind of knowledge. And finally, we'll wrap up by looking at how all this applies to Muslim academia today.
All right, first things first. Let's really dig into the foundation of it all, understanding Tawhid.
So what is Tawhid really? Well, at its core, it's the belief in the absolute, undeniable oneness and sovereignty of Allah. But, and this is the key part, it's so much more than just a theological idea you discuss in a lecture. It's the fundamental principle that weaves together everything, all knowledge, all existence. It's the lens, the ultimate framework for how you see and interact with the world.
And of course, this idea comes straight from the Quran. This short chapter, Surah Al-Ikhlas, is just wow. It's probably one of the most powerful and straight-to-the-point definitions of God's absolute unity you'll ever find. It makes it crystal clear. He neither begets nor is born, and there's nothing equivalent to him. There's just no room for any kind of division or partnership. It's the ultimate statement of pure monotheism.
Now think about what this means. If you truly see the entire universe as the creation of one single, sovereign God, then your whole quest for knowledge completely changes, right? Learning about science or art or philosophy, it's not just an academic thing anymore. It actually becomes an act of worship. It's your way of trying to understand the incredible divine order and get closer to the Creator.
Okay, so how does this huge concept of oneness, Tawhid, actually change the way we think about knowledge itself? How do we organize it? Let's dig into how it builds this unified theory.
So, the Islamic worldview basically sees reality in two interconnected parts. On one hand, you have al-ghaib, which is the unseen. This is everything beyond what our senses can pick up, things like the soul, the afterlife, angels, metaphysical truths. The only way we can know about this realm is through revelation, or wahi. And on the other hand, you've got al-shahada, the seen world. This is the physical universe we can observe, study with reason, and investigate with science, but always guided by that revelation.
And the Quran is very explicit about this distinction. I mean, this verse from Surah Al-An'am says it all. And with him are the keys of the unseen. None knows them except him. This really drives home the point that ultimate knowledge of al-ghaib belongs to God alone. We humans only get glimpses of it, and only through the channel he provides, divine revelation.
Okay, and this right here is a really, really important point. You know how in some other traditions there's this huge wall built between faith and science, like they're two opposing teams? Well, the Tawhidic framework just doesn't see it that way. It's a holistic approach. It sees reason and revelation as partners, not rivals. Reason works within the guidance of revelation. They're both seen as legitimate paths to the truth, and if you follow them correctly, they both lead you back to the same ultimate reality.
All right, let's explore that a bit more. How exactly does this framework create such a harmonious relationship between these two powerful sources of truth, revelation and reason?
Well, the key that unlocks this harmony is the institution of prophethood, or al-nubuwah. Think of prophets as the ultimate bridge. They're divinely chosen to communicate truths from the unseen world of al-ghaib to us here in the seen world of al-shahada. They give us that foundational guidance and the moral compass that our reason on its own just can't figure out.
And again, the Quran confirms this vital role. This verse from Surah Al-Hajj clearly states that Allah chooses messengers from both angels and people. This just reinforces that core idea we've been talking about. Revelation isn't here to fight with human reason. They're complementary tools, each with its own job to do in our holistic search for truth.
Okay, so let's follow the logic here. If all knowledge ultimately comes from one divine source, and it's all supposed to fit together, well, then it has to have a purpose, right? It can't just be knowledge for knowledge's sake. And that brings us to the really profound ethical side of this whole framework.
This sense of responsibility is just perfectly captured in the concept of khalifa, or stewardship. It's this incredible idea that we, humanity, have been given a trust, the responsibility to care for the earth and everything on it. So knowledge isn't just for acing a test or for personal gain. It's a tool. It's what we're supposed to use to fulfill this sacred duty, to manage the world with justice and compassion. And this verse from Surah Al-Dukhan drives that point home so powerfully. We did not create them except in truth. The universe wasn't created just for fun or as some kind of cosmic accident. It was created with purpose and with truth. And the implication is huge. The knowledge we gain about this purposeful universe has to be used for good, constructive things. Things like promoting justice, helping society, protecting the environment. All of it ties back to our role as stewards, as Khalifa.
Okay, so that's the theory, but how does this all play out today, in the 21st century? Let's talk about how this framework is being put into practice and, the real-world challenges it's up against.
One of the leading voices in this whole revitalization effort is Professor Osman Bakar at the International Islamic University Malaysia, also known as IIUM. He's a huge proponent of actually building this Tawhidic worldview right into the university's curriculum. The goal? To create graduates who are not only top-notch in modern science and other fields, but are also deeply connected to their spiritual roots. We're talking about scholars who aren't just experts, but are true, ethically grounded leaders.
And this vision, it lines up perfectly with the ideal you see in the Quran. This verse from Surah Fatir says, "Indeed, those who fear Allah among His servants are those who have knowledge." It's this beautiful idea that true, deep knowledge doesn't make you arrogant. It does the opposite. It leads to this profound sense of awe and reverence for the Creator. Because think about it, the more you learn about the incredible complexity of the universe, the more you have to appreciate the one who made it all.
But look, let's be real, trying to implement this vision today is not easy. There are some serious hurdles. Most of the world's educational systems are built on a secular model that chops knowledge up into little boxes. Science over here, ethics over there, economics completely separate from social justice. It creates a situation where we learn how to do amazing things, but we forget to ask why we're doing them, or if we should be doing them at all. So the big challenge for Muslim thinkers today is to lead a kind of renaissance, to bring that purpose back into knowledge and raise up a whole new generation of integrated thinkers and leaders.
But even with those challenges, the promise is still there. As this verse from Surah Al-Isra reminds us, the Quran guides to what is most suitable. It's a path that beautifully connects belief, knowledge, and righteous actions, all pointing toward a greater reward. It's a reminder that the guidance is timeless. So, that leaves us with one final question to chew on. We live in an age of information overload, right? We're constantly bombarded with fragmented data, stuck in our own specialized bubbles, and faced with all of these competing truths. In a world like that, what can a framework that insists on the unity of all knowledge, guided by a single ethical purpose, really offer us? I'll leave you with this. Maybe, just maybe, it offers the very coherence and meaning that so many of us are searching for.